Thank you, Mr. President and members of the Court. It is an honor to appear as agent of the Union of the Republic of Myanmar in these proceedings in my capacity as Union Minister for Foreign Affairs. For materially less resourceful countries like Myanmar, the World Court is a vital refuge of international justice. We look to the Court to establish conditions conducive to respect for obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law, one of the fundamental objectives of the United Nations Charter. In the present case, Mr. President, the Court has been asked to apply the 1948 Genocide Convention, one of the most fundamental multilateral treaties of our time. Invoking the 1948 Genocide Convention is a matter of utmost gravity. This is a treaty that we made following the systematic killing of more than 6 million European Jews, and that my country wholeheartedly signed as early as 30th December 1949 and ratified on 14th March 1956. Genocide is a crime that the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda applied in response to the mass killing of perhaps 70% of the Tutsis in Rwanda. It is a crime that is not applied by the tribunal to the former Yugoslavia for the displacement of approximately 1 million residents of Kosovo in 1999. Neither was it applied by that tribunal nor by this court when deciding upon the exodus of the Serb population from Croatia in 1995. In both situations, international justice resisted the temptation to use this strongest of legal classifications because the requisite specific intent to physically destroy the targeted group in whole or in part was not present. Regrettably, the Gambia has placed before the court an incomplete and misleading factual picture of the situation in Rakhine State in Myanmar. Yet it is of the utmost importance that the court assess the situation obtaining on the ground in Rakhine dispassionately and accurately. The situation in Rakhine is complex and not easy to fathom, but one thing surely touches all of us equally: the sufferings of the many innocent people whose lives were torn apart as a consequence of the armed conflicts of 2016 and 2017, in particular, those who have had to flee their homes and are now living in camps in Cox's Bazar. Mr. President and members of the court, the troubles of Rakhine State and its population, whatever their background, go back into past centuries and have been particularly severe over the past few years. Currently, an internal armed conflict is going on there between the Arakan army, an organized Buddhist armed group with more than 5,000 fighters, and the regular Myanmar Defense Services. None of the speakers yesterday made any reference to this. The Arakan army seeks autonomy or independence for Rakhine, or Arakan as it is called, finding inspiration in the memory of the historic kingdom of Arakan. This conflict has led to the displacement of thousands of civilians in Rakhine. Standard security restrictions, such as curfew and checkpoints, are in place at present in the conflict zone and affect the situation of civilians there, regardless of their background. Mr. President, on 9th October 2016, approximately 400 fighters of the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army, known as ARSA, launched simultaneous attacks on 3 police posts in Maundor and Rathidown townships in northern Rakhine, near the border with Bangladesh. ARSA claims responsibility for these attacks, which led to the death of 9 police officers, more than 100 dead or missing civilians, and the theft of 68 guns and more than 10,000 rounds of ammunition. This was the start of an internal armed conflict between ARSA and Myanmar's defense services, which lasted until late 2017. The selective factual propositions contained in the Gambia's application actually concern this conflict. In the months following the 9th October 2016 attacks, ARSA grew in strength in the Maundor, Budidao, and Rotheidam townships in northern Rakhine. It resorted to threats and intimidation against local villagers in order to gain support and allegiance, executing suspected informers. According to, among others, the International Crisis Group, ARSA received weapons and explosives training from Afghan and Pakistani militants. In the early morning of 25th August 2017, several thousand ARSA fighters launched coordinated attacks on more than 30 police posts and villages and an army base in North Rakhine. Most of the attacks took place on the narrow Maundor Plain, which is framed by densely forested hills to the east and the border with Bangladesh to the west. Indications are that ARSA's objective was to seize Maundor Township. It may aid the court to briefly consider the historical significance of Maundor. When Britain made Burma a colonial entity separate from British Burma in 1937, the border between Burma and India was drawn along the river Naf, where we find today's border between Bangladesh and Myanmar. The historical kingdom of Arakan had at times extended much further to the north than the river Naf, including most of what is today Chittagong district in Bangladesh. Members of some Rakhine communities therefore felt that the border drawn by the British was too far south, others that it was too far north. Myanmar has never challenged this border since independence in 1948. Britain did not lose control over what is today Maundor Township during World War II. From September 1942, a number of local Muslim families offered fighters to the British irregular V4 set up to collect intelligence and initially absorb any Japanese advance. Many Muslims gave their lives in combat against the Japanese in Rakhine. The sacrifices made by Muslim fighters motivated a call for the creation of an autonomous Muslim space in northern Rakhine centered on Maundor. Whether or not this was encouraged by British officers, Britain rejected this call as soon as it had reoccupied Burma before independence in 1948. The Muslim-Buddhist intercommunal violence of 1942 recurred in 1948 and several times after that. This cycle of violence has negatively affected life in northern Rakhine, making it the second poorest state in Myanmar. Mr. President and members of the court, may I go back to the situation in Rakhine on the morning of 25th August 2017. More than 30 police stations and villages and one military base had been attacked before sunrise in a highly coordinated fashion by an organized armed group operating along a densely forested hill range that provides ample opportunity for hiding. Many of the ARSA fighters had been recruited from local villages in the weeks and months preceding the attack. Myanmar's defense services responded to the attacks of ARSA fighters by the use of ground forces. There were armed incidents in more than 60 locations. The main clashes occurred in 12 places: in Minji, Dolatoli village, Chapdien village, Maunu village, Gutabien village, Aletanjor village, Myenla village, Indian village, Chain Kali or Kodangap village, Myodaji ward, Chaupandu village, wards of Maundor town, and southern Maundor. Mr. President, please allow me to clarify the use of the term clearance operation, Nemye Shenlenye in Myanmar. Its meaning has been distorted. As early as the 1950s, this term has been used during military operations against the Burma Communist Party in Bogor Range. Since then, the military has used this expression in counterinsurgency and counterterrorism operations after attacks by insurgents or